Okay, so you've started to learn to play the bass guitar, and you may have bought a tutor book, you may be using sheet music, you may be using a tablature, but the cold hard fact is that one day you're going to need to be able to look at a sheet of words and chords and be able to find the notes quickly on the bass guitar. So in this video I'm going to demystify the fretboard of the bass guitar so that you can find your notes easily. So what you can see in this picture here is the bottom end of an 88 note piano. So the very lowest note here is an A. It looks rather strange with this single black note here. So we have A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp. And this E here corresponds to this low E on the bass guitar. I'm going to put these CDs down on the keyboard so that you can see the actual range of the bass guitar. I've zoomed out here so that you can see the entire range of the bass guitar as it appears on a piano keyboard. So the lowest note is this E here, okay, and the highest note is this D here. So E up to D. So it's actually 1 octave, 2 octaves, almost 3 octaves, but not quite. So this low E here is this string number 4, the thickest string, if you like, played open, and this D here is this note of D here, and that's on that 19th fret of this G string on this bass guitar. Now this instrument is a Fender Mustang, and because of that it's only got 19 frets. Now if you've got a guitar that's got more frets, obviously it will go higher. To be honest, you won't be playing up there, especially if you're a beginner, but just so you know, this has only got 19 frets, and that top note there is a D. So a bass guitar that's got 24 frets, or 21 frets, is going to have a bigger range. We don't have to worry about that here. We need to understand the basic ideas of notes. Before we start playing the bass guitar, before we start finding our notes on the bass, we need to understand something about the notes that we use in Western music. I'm just going to show you the notes that we use in Western music. I'm going to start with this note here, which is A. Now the A, if you look at the 3 black notes here, 2 black notes, 3 black notes, come down to these 3 black notes, count up 1, 2 and go to the white note directly to the right of that. That is the note of A. Musical notes use the first 7 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start again at A. So we start on A. If we go to the next note to the right of that, this black note here, that is A sharp, which is 1 up from A. Come up to the next note, and that is B. So we're going through our alphabet, A, B, but in between A and B we've got A sharp. We can also call this note B flat. So sharp means up from, flat means down from. So A sharp, B. Now notice the next note is not a black note, it's another white note, and it's C. So you go straight from B to C. Okay, so no B sharp, no C flat. Keep going. To the right of that is a black note, C sharp. To the right of that is a white note, D. So this black note is C sharp or D flat. Come back to the D. Come to the right of that, that is a D sharp, that black note. Come to the right of that, that note is E, that white note is E, so this black note is D sharp or E flat. So E, now notice the note to the right of E is F. There's no black note there, so we go straight from E to F, no E sharp, no F flat. Come to the right of that, we've got F sharp, that black note. Come to the right of that, we've got G, so this black note is F sharp or G flat. So F sharp is G flat if you like, and it depends what key you're playing in as to whether we call that F sharp or G flat. You don't need to worry about that at the moment. So G, to the right of that we've got a black note which is G sharp. Keep going up and we've come up to an A. Remember where we started? And the note down from A is A flat, so G sharp or A flat. So we've gone from one A up to another A, and that's called an octave. I'll say those notes in order, starting with this A here. A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A. So there are in fact only 12 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we start again. So just 12 notes repeated lots and lots of times, in this case along the piano keyboard. And those are the only notes we use in Western music. You need to grasp that before you carry on. You need to know that there's no sharp between B and C or flat, no sharp or flat between E and F. Okay? One way to understand this is to think of the bass guitar as 4 different keyboards that start at 4 different points. I'm going to narrow this keyboard down to the range of the thickest string, the string nearest to me as I look down. I call it string 4, some people call this string 1, but it's the E string, and it's called the E string because if you tune it up properly and you play it open, that means you don't put any fingers on it and you pluck the string, it gives you the note of E, this E note here. I'm going to narrow the range down of this keyboard here with my CDs so that you can see what notes we can find on this particular E string on this particular guitar. So we can see that the lowest note is this E down here. So if I play this string open, that's that note. The highest note on this string is B, which is the 19th fret. Not easy to show you, but it's there. Just a reminder, in case you don't know, when you put your finger on a string, you put your finger really close to the fret, not on the fret, just behind, and press hard. That's a fundamental thing you need to know. As a child, I used to think you had to put your finger in the middle of the 2 frets, directly in the middle, but of course that's wrong. You need to get really close to the fret without actually putting your finger on top of it, just to the left of it as you're looking down, if you're right-handed like me. Okay, so that's our range from E up to B. So we have E, an octave E, and B. So it's an octave and it's a 5th on top. Now, I'll play these notes on the keyboard and then I'll play them on the bass guitar. So we have E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now I'm going to stop there because that's our first octave. Now I'm going to play them on the bass guitar. So open string is E, that note there. First fret of that string is F, so put your finger behind the first fret, press hard and play that string, and that's that note there, F. Now I come up 1 to the 2nd fret of that E string, and that's like coming up 1 to the right on our keyboards, that's F sharp. Come up 1 more, that's G. Come up 1 more, it's G sharp. Come up 1 more and it's A. Okay, so just keep going. A sharp, B, C. Remember there's no black note between B and C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So this 12th fret note here is an octave higher than this open string. See? So that's called an octave. There to there is an octave. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Okay, I'll do that again, but I'll say the flat names instead. So E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E. So it's important to realise that E flat and D sharp are the same note. So we've just gone from this E to this E, open E string to the 12th fret. Now if we keep going, it just repeats. So come up 1, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A A sharp, and then B, rather awkward to get to, it's up there. So those notes I've just played are, starting on the 12th fret, E, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. So we say the range of this E string is from low E all the way up to this B. Okay, now I wouldn't worry about anything above the 12th fret as a beginner. Just learn those first 12 frets. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. I'm going to show you some easy ways to learn your notes on the guitar, but first of all I'm just going to go through all 4 strings. So I'm going to move my CDs now to change the range. Okay, so we're going to move this Please Please Me CD up. So the lowest note is A, which is the same as this. I call it the 3rd string, the 2nd thickest. If I play that string open, the note is A, this A here. I'm going to move this with the Beatles CD along so that it's all the way up to E, because this string goes from A to E. So from A to E. So A up to E, A to E. So we have A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So that's our first octave, A to A. So that was A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Now notice 12. Remember I said there are 12 notes in music, so the 12th fret gives us that octave. Okay, so open A, the note is A, 12th fret of the A string, the note is A again, an octave above that. Now remember A sharp, B, C, there's no black note between B and C, no sharp, so straight from B to C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, there's no black note, no sharp between E and F, so E straight to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. I'll do that again saying the flat notes instead. I'll give those black notes their flat names this time. A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A. So from there to there is the same as and then we just keep going. So if that's A, that must be A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. That's my top note on the A string, that note there. Okay, right, let's change our range again to suit our next string, which is the D string, which I call string number 2. I go from the floor upwards, so this is string 2. So we're going to bring our Please Please Me CD up to the D, so this, that's our D there. I'm going to bring this up so it's showing A. Right, so we have open D string as the note D, then we have D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. So there's our octave, 12th fret. Keep going. D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So from open D all the way up to that A, that's the range of our D string. I'll do that again saying the flat names of the notes. So D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A. So if you look at your keyboard here, that's the range of the D string from the D note there to the A note there. Let's move our CDs up again for our final string, which is G. So come up to G and bring this one up to D. So we're moving up the keyboard here. So the range of notes on the G string, that's the thinnest string, the highest sounding string, the string nearest the floor. So we have G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. So from G up to D, which is there. So on the bass guitar itself, so if we play the G string open and it's tuned up properly, the note we will hear is G. Go to the first fret of that, we'll have G sharp, or A flat if you like. Come up to the second fret, and you've got A, and then A sharp, and then B, and then C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, there's your octave, 12th fret. Keep going, so G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, and that top note there is D. Remember, with a guitar with more frets you'll have higher notes, but this is a short scale bass. But like I say, you won't have to worry about anything up this end as a beginner. I'll go through that string again saying the flat names of the notes. So G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D. And that's our range that we can see on our keyboard here between our CDs, G up to D. And the whole range of the bass guitar is from this E here up to this D here. Alright, that's a lot of frets, a lot of notes to remember, but luckily the bass guitar is a very symmetrical instrument, and I'm going to show you a really good way of learning your notes quickly on this instrument. First of all, I would recommend that you learn the names of the notes on the two thickest strings, the E and the A, string 4 and string 3 as I call them. Certainly the first 12 frets. So on that E string, it's E when you play it open, and then we have F, first fret, F sharp, second fret, G, third fret, G sharp, fourth fret, and then we're up to A, fifth fret, A sharp, sixth fret, B, seventh fret, C, eighth fret, C sharp, ninth fret, D, 10th fret, D sharp, 11th fret, and E again on the 12th fret. Now, that's easy to remember because it's just the same as going from left to right on a piano keyboard. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. There's no difference at all. And you are playing what we call chromatically. Every note that you come to, you're playing. The way to think of the bass guitar is as 4 keyboards, all starting at different points. So there's the range of the E string. So think of that as a keyboard in its own right, and that's the range of your E string. That's your E string keyboard, if you like. So make sure you learn those notes. You might want to start by learning the notes that don't have sharps or flats in their name. So E is open, F is first fret, G is third fret, A is 5th fret, B is 7th fret, C is 8th fret, D is 10th fret, and E is 12th fret. Learn those first. So we have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Learn those first of all. Then you can start putting the sharps in the middle. we know this is F, this must be F sharp or G flat. If we know this is G, this must be G sharp. If we know this is A, this must be A sharp or B flat if you like. If we know that this is C, this must be C sharp or D flat. If we know this is D, this must be D sharp or E flat. But as I say, learn E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E first of all. In frets it's 0 because it's open, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. I'll say that again. So 0, open, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Don't worry about the dots because they're a little bit misleading, aren't they? We've got dots on the 3rd, 5th, 7th and 9th frets, but the 9th fret is actually C sharp, so it's a bit misleading. So just ignore the dots for the moment. So that's your E string. That's job 1, is to learn all those notes. If you're worried about learning all 12 frets, then maybe learn the first 7. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Learn those 7 and then progress to 9 and then progress to 12. But it's very, very important to learn that string. It's important because a lot of the time that will be your go-to note. If you're given something like this to look at, which is a typical worship song with chords above the words, you're going to need to know how to find those notes. Most of the time you're going to be playing root notes. If the guitarist is playing an A chord, you need to find an A note to go with it, which is there, 5th fret of the E string, and you need to be able to find that quickly. And more often than not, you're going to play the lowest one you can find on your guitar, which is there. See, so it's very important to learn this E string first. So, you know, probably stop the video now if you're an absolute beginner and learn this string first of all. So get as high as the 7th fret and then add a couple of more frets to that and ultimately learn those first 12 frets. I wouldn't worry about going above the 12th fret at the moment. The next important string to learn is the A string. If you're not sure which one that is, it's the 3rd string up from the bottom, the one next to the one I've just been dealing with, the 2nd thickest string. So let's show you the range of that on our keyboard here. So bring our CD up to A here and this one up to E. So the range is from A up to E. Okay, but we're only going to worry about the first 12 frets. So we'll play the A string open, and that's the note A, obviously. That's why it's called the A string, because if you tune it up properly and play it open, you get the note A, this one here. So we have A, first fret is A sharp or B flat, 2nd fret is B, 3rd fret is C, 4th fret is C sharp or D flat, 5th fret is D, 6th fret is D sharp or E flat, 7th fret is E, 8th fret is F, 9th fret is F sharp or G flat, 10th fret is G, 11th fret is G sharp or A flat, and the 12th fret is the octave A. So A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. And remember, A, A sharp, B, C, B, C. Okay? No sharp note between those. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E, F, E, F. Remember? No black note. So from fret 2 to fret 3 is B, C. From fret 7 to fret 8 is E, F. No sharp. So B, C, E, F. Now again, maybe don't worry about the sharps to start with. So A, open A, B, 2nd fret of the A, C, 3rd fret of the A, D, 5th fret of the A, E, 7th fret of the A, F, 8th fret of the A, G, 10th fret of the A, and A, 12th fret of the A string. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So in frets that's 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And obviously the sharps are in between. So if this is A, open A, okay, this must be A sharp, one up from A. This must be B. This is C, no black note between B and C. So if this is C, this must be C sharp, D, and getting the idea, I'm sure. So again, very important to learn that A string. So learn the E string and the A string first of all. String number 4, string number 3. First of all, as far as the 7th fret, and then learn up to the 9th fret, then learn up to the 12th fret. Don't worry about anything above that for the moment. You remember I said that the bass guitar is like 4 keyboards starting at 4 different points. Okay, so when you get to the 5th fret of the E string, that's the note A. When you play that note, that's the same as playing the A string open. Can you hear that's the same? 5th fret of the E is the same as open A. So 6th fret of the E, A sharp, is the same as 1st fret of the A sharp. 7th fret of the E string is the note B, which is the same as the 2nd fret of the A string. So 5th fret of the E string is the same as open A. 6th fret of the E string is the same as the 1st fret of the A. They're both A sharp notes. 7th fret of the E string is the note B, that's the same as the 2nd fret of the A string. Getting the idea? 8th fret of the E string is C, same as the 3rd fret of the A string. So if you like, from the 5th fret onwards on the E string, it's the same as going from the open A string upwards. So if I go from the 5th fret of the E string, moving up, now listen, on the A string from the open string, it's just set back, you see. So it's very useful to know that if you've got a note on the E string and you're on the 5th fret or above, you can get the same note on the A string by going down 5 frets. So if you know that this note is B on the E string, the 7th fret of the E string, subtract 5 from 7, that's 2, go to the 2nd fret, fret 2 of the A string, and that's also B. So if you know that the 8th fret of the E string is C, subtract 5 from 8, gives you 3, fret 3 on the A string is C, do you see? Now obviously, the E string goes as high as B, but the A string goes as high as E. So eventually, of course, you're going to find that notes on the A string go much higher, obviously, than the notes on the E string do. But that's a good way of learning the doubles, if you like. These notes, E, F, F sharp, G and G sharp, they're unique. You can't find those notes at that pitch anywhere else on the guitar. Whereas from the A upwards, you can find those notes. Okay, so that's a really good way of, finding the doubles. So there's not as many notes as you think. There are only 12 notes in total at different octaves. Now, you could work your way up the D string and the G string learning those, but there's an easier way of picking these notes up, and I'll show you what it is. You know that the D string, string number 2, that's the 2nd thinnest or 3rd thickest, if you like. If you play it open, that's D, and the 1st fret is D sharp or E flat. But when we get to this note, E, that's the same note as the open E string, but an octave above it. To demonstrate this, I'm just going to show you a fretted note on the thickest string, the E string. I'm going to go to the 3rd fret, which is G, so 3rd fret of the thickest string, that's the note G. Now if I come up 2 frets and over 2 strings, so I've landed on the 5th fret of the D string, that is the same note as that one, but an octave higher. So if this is G, this is G. So if this is A, this is A. See, there's the A, come up 2 frets, over 2 strings, and it's the octave. See? So if this is C, 8th fret of the E string, this must be C, 10th fret of the D string. See? Up 2 frets, over 2 strings. If we're going to play in octaves, we tend to use 1st finger and 3rd finger, or 1st finger and 4th finger. So It's a really good way of learning your notes. So if you play the open E string, okay, come up 2 frets, that's the 2nd fret, go over 2 strings. 2nd fret of the D string is the octave above open E string. 2 notes, both called E, an octave apart. So 1st fret of the E string, you remember, is F. Come up 2 frets, go over 2 strings. 3rd fret of the D string is also F, an octave apart. So it's a really good way of finding your notes and learning the doubles and the octaves. So these are not the same pitch, but they are the same note an octave apart. So that works with the E string and the D string, string number 4, string number 2. And the same thing works with the A string and the G string. So that's the 2nd thickest string and the thinnest string. So let's just pick a note at random on the A string. Let's go to the 3rd fret. That's the note of C. So if I come up 2 frets to the 5th fret over 2 strings, 5th fret of the G string is also C, an octave above. So if I come to the 5th fret of the A string, that note is D, okay, and up 2 frets over 2 strings, that note is also D. These are all octaves apart. So we have this relationship between the E string and the D string, string 4 and string 2, and we have the same relationship between the A string and the G string, string 3 and string 1. These are octaves apart, so if you know this note is D, this note must be D. If you know that this note is D, that must be D. See, lots of overlaps, lots of repeats, so it's not as bad as you think. Works the same as sharps, so this note is A sharp, so therefore this note must be A sharp. One of the ways we check the tuning on the bass guitar is knowing this next little trick. If the G string is in tune, let's just make sure it's in tune. Yes, it's that G there. So if I go to the 5th fret of the D string, that's the same note. That note there is the note G. So straight away you see I've got a G there, a G there, and a G there. That note is an octave below this one, and this one and this one are the same note. 5th fret of the A string, which is the note D, is the same as the open D string, and the 5th fret of the E string is A, and that should be the same as the open A string. It's not quite in tune, but so we've got octave A, we've got an A there, open A, see? So straight away we've got 3 A notes there. We've got 5th fret of the E string, we've got 7th fret of the D string, and we've got open A string. So the 5th fret of the E string and the open A are the same A at the same pitch, and the 7th fret of the D string is an octave above. So we spoke about the E string and the A string. Let's just go to the D string and just change our range here. So it's a good idea to know what these notes are, but you can learn them from the octaves, you see. You don't need to learn these notes like you learnt them on the other 2 strings, because as long as you know that this note is F, you'll know that this note is F. The only notes that don't have octaves on the E string, of course, are the 1st fret and the open. Well, the open string is obviously D, D string played open is D, and the 1st fret is D sharp, but E, 2nd fret, is the same as the open E string. On the D string, the notes that don't have any sharps in their names are as follows: D, open D, E, 2nd fret, F, 3rd fret, G, 5th fret, A, 7th fret, B, 9th fret, C, 10th fret, and D, 12th fret. So you have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. So you have open, and then fret 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. Maybe learn those first and then add the sharps in later. Change our CDs again. So this is the range of the G string. G up to D. again here, see, you've got open G is the note G, first fret is G sharp or A flat, and the second fret of the G string is the note A, which as you know is the same as the open A, just an octave above it. Remember open A, up to, over to, so you have A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp or E flat, E. Let's look at these E notes. We've got an E on open E string, we've got the octave on the second fret of the D string. Okay, we've got an E note, same pitch as that one on the 7th fret of the A string, and we've got an E note on the 9th fret of the G string. So straight away 1, 2, 3, 4 notes of E. I'm sorry this is a very long video and you can dip in and out of this as you wish. 5 is the magic number on bass guitar. Alright, so if you play the open G string, that's the thinnest string, the note is G, come up 5 frets on the D string, that's also G, come up 5 frets higher on the A string to the 10th fret, that's also G. Okay, so you have open, 5, 10, so if you go to the 15th fret of the E string, that's also G. So it's the same note of G in 4 places. Open G, 5th fret of the D string, 10th fret of the A string, 15th fret of the E string. It's the same G note. Now you can see very quickly you haven't got many notes that you can find in 4 places. You've only got these 5 notes that you can find in 4 places. Let's do the highest one that we can find in 4 places. This note here is B, 4th fret of the G string. So add 5 to 4, go to 9, 9th fret of the D string is also B. Add on 5, so 14th fret of the A string is a B. Add on 5, go to the 19th fret of the E string, and that's B, the top note on that string. So that's B in 4 places. That's the highest note you can do that on. Here's an interesting thing. That's fret 4, that's fret 9, that's fret 14, so it's got a 4 in it, so that was 4, that's 14. And this one is 19, that's got a 9 in it, same as the 9 there, see? So fret 4, fret 9, fret 14, fret 19, so it's 4, 9, 4, 9. One final thing you might find interesting, and this is only available from the 3rd fret upwards, but if I go to the 3rd fret of the thickest string, that's the note G, if I come down 1, 2, 3 frets and go over to the open G string, that's an octave. Easier to show you on the 4th fret of the E string, which is 1 up from G, which is G sharp. Come down 1, 2, 3 frets and go over 3 strings, and that's also G sharp. So this is A, this is A. So it's the same as going up 2 and over 2, but you go down 3 and over 3. So here is the note A, up 2, over 2 is A, down 3 and over 3 is also A. So straight away there, you see you've got 3 A's. You've got an A there, you've got an A there, you've got an A there. And these 2 notes are the same note because they're 5 frets apart. So it's not as bad as you think. This is a really good way of learning it, and I would recommend learning it off by heart. On purpose here, I haven't used any charts, any tables, I haven't used tablature or sheet music, because the only way around this is to learn this off by heart, so that when you get given one of these to look at, and you look at the words and you look at the chords on top of the words, you're going to be able to go to the notes really, really quickly. So I hope you found that interesting and useful. If you did, please give the video a like and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.